Hello, my name is Scher, and welcome to my tutorial on finding your balance. Now, what exactly do I mean by balance? Balance is the ability to erect and maintain a strong core, a foundation, a center, and then align the rest of your body around that center so that you're not going to fall over when you do any techniques. So that as you change your motion, you can always stay centered on that core line, that center line. Now, humans, unlike any other creature on planet Earth, only have two legs with no additional support for balance. Birds have wings, kangaroos have that long tail, lizards have four legs that they generally go onto. There's no other creature that has only two legs to work with and nothing else. No prehensile tail, no bent over spines so their hands are close to the floor, no nothing. Because of that, humans have a much harder time staying balanced. Humans fall over a lot. That's why it's important for martial artists to know how to fall correctly. We'll talk about falling in another tutorial. So what is the foundation of balance? How do we start identifying and creating our balance? The first thing you need to do is understand your center or your core. To do this, I like to pretend that there's a long pole, a stick, or a rod, or a bat, and I'm trying to stand it up by itself on a hard floor, perpendicular to the floor. Now, if you find the spot where that stick, that bat, is standing up all by itself, perpendicular to the floor, then that stick is balanced on its end. As soon as you lean it one way or the other, it's going to fall. I like to demonstrate the importance of base using the same analogy. The larger your foundation, the larger the bottom of that object, and the more narrow the top, the easier it's going to be to balance. So when you think about your balance, the first thing you need to think about is how much of your body is in contact with the floor. If you have 2 feet on the floor, you have maximum balance, unless of course you're on all fours, but we're going to talk about standing up right now. So you're standing up and you have 2 feet on the floor. That's your center balance. Now once you move to 1 foot, you've decreased your balance, your base, by half. With that half base, it's much harder to stay balanced. But as a martial artist and a kicker, it's that base, that half base, that we have to become comfortable with and strengthen. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of lessening their base even more, going on their tiptoes. There is almost no time in any martial arts kick where you should go on your tiptoes and decrease your base by 3/4. If you do that and you get hit, the chances of you falling over are so much greater. And falling over is very close to losing a fight, losing a match, or a kick becoming ineffectual. So standing on that one leg, the first thing you need to do is find your center, your core. To do this, I recommend just standing on one leg with your back straight and finding the position that you can stay in without falling down. Try this on both legs. Find a position where you can stand on one leg and not fall over. You'll find that it's easier to stand on one leg if your toes are spread out and you make your foot itself as large as possible, almost like the toes are grabbing the floor. You're enlarging your base when you do this. Practice spreading your toes as much as you can. Protecting your center is very important to balance. So as you're standing on one leg, or on 2 legs for that matter, try leaning to one side and the other and see how your body starts to tilt that way. Your whole body will go as soon as the top of your head starts to lean to one side or the other. So being balanced is about finding that center, but then having the core strength around your body to maintain that center. Because even as your body starts to tip, you can clench and shift your muscles and body to get yourself back on that center. Maintaining that center is of the utmost importance to maintaining and understanding and effectually using balance. When I'm balancing on 2 legs or 1 leg, it's important to keep your spine as long and straight as possible. If you start to hunch over, you're going to throw your balance forward. So you want a long, straight spine. Think about pulling down from your tailbone and pulling up through the top center of your head. Now you want to do this while you're walking, while you're standing, and even while you're kicking. That alignment, that erect posture will help you maintain your balance and center. Now let's talk about compensation. If you have some weight pulling you down on one side, you're going to want the same amount of weight pulling or exerting force on the other side. So try standing on one leg and stick your leg out. You're going to find that you're pulled towards the leg that's extended. So you have to lean something out the other way to counterbalance, almost like a T. You do the same thing leaning forward, and then the leg has to extend to the back so you don't fall forward. Now, you don't have to have a limb extended. You can have an equal amount of tension pulling on the opposite side to compensate for the weight exerted on one side. So if my leg's out on one side, I don't have to stick my whole body out the other side. I just have to clench the muscles on the other side and pull my body that way from my core to maintain that center, that balance, that equilibrium. Equilibrium's an important concept here. To utilize balance and maintain this equilibrium, it's very important to have a strong core. There's a lot of exercises out there that will help you strengthen your core. For example, sit-ups, crunches, holding a plank position, diagonal crunches, circular sit-ups, abdominal V-hold, reverse sit-ups, gyrating abdominal V-hold, V-tabletop, and a lot of other exercises. I plan to cover a lot of these core exercises in my next video that's going to be on core exercises and abdominal strengthening drills. Now, another very important concept in maintaining balance and maintaining this center, this core, this equilibrium, is your inner ear fluid. In between your ears, there's kind of like a little bubble of water. It's not water, it's inner ear fluid, but it's like water. And when you turn your head, like a gyroscope, that water stays balanced with gravity. But as soon as that liquid starts to slosh and start moving from one side to the other, then you're going to get dizzy. You might get queasy, and you're going to start to lose your center, your balance, and you're going to start falling over. So it's very important to keep that inner ear fluid flat and centered. The best way to do that is not to jerk your head or to tilt your head too far. In fact, keeping the very top of your head erect the whole time is very important. So don't look down when you kick. Don't look backwards when you kick. Don't tilt your head sideways. One way I like to practice this is I take a cup with some balls in it, or if I'm outside, water, and I put it on top of my head and practice standing up straight and keeping that cup balanced on my head. Once I can do this, I practice walking with that cup on my head. Then I'll try picking my leg up and throwing some kicks without dropping that cup off. That helps me maintain my upper body control, my center, my equilibrium. If I can stand on one leg, kick with the cup balanced on my head, I can definitely do it without. That cup illustrates my center. Do this with front kick. Now try with a round kick. You'll find you really have to get your hips turned over all the way and maintain your upper body erect posture the whole time. If you start to lean backwards, you're going to fall backwards. Try kicks up and down the room with the cup on your head. Front kick, round kick, side kick, hook kick. In all of my tutorials, I advise using the bar or the back of a chair to help develop the strength and control and form of each technique. The bar can be a great asset, but also a great handicap. If you hold on to it too hard for all your kicks and never let go, then you're never going to develop the balance that you need to actually use the kicks. So in using the bar, I recommend that you hold it as lightly as possible. You want to throw your side kicks, but have only your pinky finger on the bar, or have your hand hovering over it so you can grab it to realign your center if you need it, or if you're about to fall. In using the bar, the cup can be a great asset in maintaining your center line, your alignment, your balance, your stability, your core. So I like to put the cup on my head, hold lightly under the bar, and practice throwing my front kicks, round kicks, side kicks, and hook kicks. Once you can stand on one leg with a cup on your head, without a cup on your head, and throw kicks, and you're not falling over easily, you've achieved a beginning level of balance. But to take this to the next level, you need to be able to maintain that balance even if you're kicking something and dealing with rebound force, even if you're moving around and changing direction. To help increase that balance, that sense of balance, that ability, that strength, I recommend giving yourself obstacles. I like to take a bosu and put it upside down, stand on the bottom of it, and find my balance there. Stand on one leg on the bosu, then practice throwing kicks on the bosu. Practice balancing a cup on your head while balancing and throwing kicks on the bosu. A balance beam is a great way to practice your balance because it gives you a very narrow parameter to practice your centering on. You need to be centered perfectly over this line, this beam. So if you have a balance beam or you have access to one, I recommend using it. If not, you can take a square log and set it down. I took a square beam from Home Depot, wrapped it in some pleather, and put some legs on the side for balance. And you can walk up it, you can walk backwards, and try to find that center. You'll find that the straighter your body and the more erect your posture, the easier it's going to be to maintain that balance. Doing it with a cup on your head is a great way to start. You can also throw kicks up and down the balance beam. Phenomenon that's common to most humans, if not all. Your body and your focus and your weight will automatically shift in any direction you look. If you ride a bike and you look to one side, you'll find that the bike starts to turn in the direction you're looking. The same thing is when you're kicking. When you're kicking, if you're not looking in the direction you're kicking, then you're going to start to fall in the direction you're looking. A lot of people make the mistake of looking behind them when they're kicking in one direction. They kick, they look behind them, their body starts to fall in that direction, and they fall backwards. It splits the energy of your kick, of your technique, in two directions. So always look where you're kicking. Breath is very important for balance. If you hold your breath, you're going to have a much harder time balancing than if you're breathing steadily and smoothly. So always practice breathing and continuing to breathe whenever you're doing any technique or anything that involves balance. A drill I like to do is stand on one leg and breathe audibly in, out, in, out. This way, I'm conscious of my breath the whole time. Thank you very much for watching my balance tutorial. Please don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. And please check out the other videos on my YouTube channel.